Hands-on help from coaches can greatly accelerate learning by students. These are examples of pool assists in the freestyle drill series. Start by rehearsing wide tracks with relaxed hands. Greg checks Gary's relaxation before Gary pushes off into a no-kick glide. As Greg toes, he again checks that Gary's hands and arms are relaxed. The light toe lets Gary feel true ease and helps keep him horizontal without kicking. After toeing, you could also launch from the feet. The feeling of effortless travel can be transformative. When Gary begins kicking, it should be small, quiet, and gentle. When Gary pulls down, Greg walks him along to minimize the need to kick, then lets him solo for a bit. Greg limits Gary's rotation to just enough to clear one shoulder, making it easier for Gary to maintain it on his own. Toeing gently from the head gives a sense of being skyhooked. After release, keep walking backward to provide some draft and minimize kicking effort. Greg positions and stabilizes Gary on his first breath, then lets him try a solo on the second. Rehearse the tracked arm and relaxed hand before the first transition from fish to skating. Then refine the position before releasing for solo practice. Gary transitions into skating on his own, then gets help with his first breath to prepare him to take the second breath on his own. On the first underskate, hold the position for most of one breath to register that position. Then sneak the arm forward several times on one breath. Toeing allows Gary to put his focus on the arm position before doing one on his own. Treat the first underswitch as active skating. Switch just once, then check your skating position. Then repeat from the other track. Greg releases the wrist after Gary pauses at his goggles. On multi-underswitch, Greg holds the wrist to enforce patience on the first couple of switches, then checks to see if Gary keeps this timing on his own. Gary keeps the pause at the goggles, but eliminates the pause in skating. Greg watches closely to see he keeps his patient timing. As Gary tries continuous underswitch, Greg can lightly touch his wrist to remind him to be patient. Introduce breathing after switch timing is consistent. Greg aids Gary on his first breath and then forces a brief pause in skating after that breath. On the first zipper skate, hold the position for most of one breath while helping imprint the right rotation and arm position. An alternate assist is one hand pushing forward on the back of the elbow and the other holding back on the front of the wrist. Working from the front will give you the most control over the position of both arms and body rotation. Working from behind Gary, Greg assists on the first two zipper skate reps, then lets Gary solo on the third. A light touch behind the elbow can ensure it swings wide instead of lifting up. Holding elbow and lead wrist for a couple of zipper switches will help imprint patience at the switch point. This is an alternate way to get into skating for the first time. From prone glide, pull one arm to the inside thigh while rotating just enough to clear a shoulder. Start with a prone glide on wide tracks, then skate a moment on that track. Then skate a moment on one track. Then take a few strokes just thinking about the tracks. Repeat, but skate on the other track. Then think mainly about that track for a few easy strokes. The relaxed glide and track practice for a few moments helps smooth the strokes that follow. Skate on one track to start one rep, skate on the other before the next.